I'm Aaron Day from MakeCrazyDays.org. Today I'm going to show you how I made this camera rig that holds the microphone and the camera. If you'd like to see how, keep watching. There isn't exactly a whole lot of woodworking in this one. Cleaning up this cherry is about as close as it gets. I measure the trapezoid that fits into the tripod, set the fence to that thickness, and rip the cherry to that thickness. Next, I get the depth of the trapezoid, adjust the fence, and rip that to thickness. A T-bevel is used to check the angle, which turns out to be 60 degrees. Since my electronic angle finder's battery is flat, I just eyeball it. I move the fence to the right of the blade so I can rip the angle in a way that prevents binding, and leaves the opposite angle so it rides high on the fence instead of under it. And I cross-cut for the rest of the trapezoid. Then some one-handed unsteady cam shots of testing the sucker out in the tripod. Done with wood at this point, on to plastic. I cut down some 3/8 acrylic sheet left over from the train controller box. This will protect the base. I cover it with painter's tape to protect it and so I can mark on it. Mark out position for the camera, audio recorder, and the microphone mount. And then label each. I want the camera where I can change out the batteries without removing it from the mount. Holes are drilled which are just thick enough to allow the threads through. There is a shoulder on the bolts which will not fit through the holes. This will make sense once I show how they mount. The trapezoid is taped on the top side and the orientation it will be attached on the bottom. This will allow the holes drilled to align properly later. And divots are pressed in and used to center the drill bit while drilling. The smallest hole is drilled first, just enough to allow the threads to grip the wood. The trapezoid is removed and wider holes are drilled in so the threads do not cut into the acrylic. The tape is cleared out of the way so the trapezoid can be screwed onto the acrylic. 4 screws are used instead of glue. CA glue might work, but for this to break, the camera's probably toast anyway. A cutting disc is used to trim the ends of the screws. Every video should have sparks. Here are the mounting screws. You can see the shoulder I was talking about. Using a file, I grind off the lower threads just over the thickness of the acrylic. This will allow a clip to be added above the surface, which will hold the screw in place and allow it to spin freely. Bolt is slid into place and that little clip is pushed onto the bolt below the threads. Then I test it out with the microphone mount. Seems to work. Now let's try it out with the camera. That also seems to work, and we have a working mount system for the camera, audio recorder, and microphone, despite that not being hooked up at the moment. Well, I'm hoping this will wind up working out well for doing videos. And of course, I have not shot one yet with it. I'm hoping by switching to the external mic, things will get a little bit better. And where everything's all condensed onto one little unit like that on the tripod, I think it'll work out pretty well. Let me know how you think it sounds. If you have any thoughts or ideas, leave a message in the comments below. If you'd like to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. And as always, God bless.